Before diving into the how, it's crucial to understand why an emergency fund matters. Avoid debt. Without an emergency fund, unexpected expenses like car repairs or medical bills can force you to rely on high-interest credit cards or loans. Peace of mind. Knowing you have a financial cushion reduces stress and anxiety about unforeseen events. Job loss protection. If you lose your job, an emergency fund can cover your living expenses while you search for new employment. Prevent financial setbacks. An emergency fund helps you avoid derailing long-term goals like retirement savings or paying off debt. The size of your emergency fund depends on your financial situation and lifestyle. Here are some guidelines. Basic goal: start with 3 to 6 months worth of essential expenses. This includes rent, mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance, and minimum debt payments. Higher risk situations. If your income is irregular, e.g. freelancing or commission-based, aim for 6 to 12 months worth of expenses. Single versus dual income households. Single income households should prioritize a larger emergency fund since there's no backup income. Customize for your needs. Consider factors like health conditions, job stability, and dependence when deciding how much to save. Where you keep your emergency fund matters. It should be easily accessible. Use a savings account or money market account so you can withdraw funds quickly in an emergency. Low risk. Avoid investing your emergency fund in stocks or other volatile assets. Stick to liquid, low-risk options. Separate from daily accounts. Keep your emergency fund in a separate account to avoid accidentally spending it. If saving 3 to 6 months worth of expenses feels overwhelming, break it down into manageable steps. Set a mini goal. Start with $500 to $1,000 as a starter emergency fund. This can cover small emergencies like car repairs or minor medical bills. Automate savings. Set up automatic transfers to your emergency fund each payday. Even $20, $50 per paycheck adds up over time. Use windfalls wisely. Allocate bonuses, tax refunds, or gifts toward your emergency fund. Cut expenses temporarily. Redirect money from non-essential spending like dining out or subscriptions to boost your savings. While it might be tempting to focus on other financial goals, like paying off debt or investing, building an emergency fund should come first in many cases. Debt versus emergency fund. If your debt has high interest rates, you can balance both by contributing smaller amounts to your emergency fund while aggressively paying off debt. Investing later. Once your emergency fund is fully funded, you can shift focus to investing for long-term growth. An emergency fund isn't a set-it-and-forget-it tool. You need to maintain it. Replenish. After use, if you dip into your emergency fund, make replenishing it a top priority. Adjust for life changes. As your income, expenses, or family situation changes, revisit your fund to ensure it still meets your needs. Review regularly. Check your fund annually to ensure it aligns with inflation and rising costs. Not starting at all. Even a small fund is better than none. Using it for non-emergencies. Only tap your fund for true emergencies like job loss, medical bills, major repairs. Keeping it in the wrong place. Avoid stashing your fund under your mattress or in risky investments. Neglecting other goals. Don't let your emergency fund become an excuse to ignore debt repayment or retirement savings. Example, building an emergency fund. Let's say your monthly essential expenses are $2,000. To build a 3-month emergency fund of $6,000. Step 1. Start with a mini goal of $1,000 to cover small emergencies. Step 2. Save $200 a month for 5 months to reach the $1,000 milestone. Step 3. Continue saving $200 a month for another 25 months to reach the full $6,000 goal. Step 4. Automate transfers to stay consistent. Visualize your progress. Use a savings tracker or app to monitor your progress. Celebrate milestones. Reward yourself without spending too much when you hit savings goals. Stay disciplined. Treat contributions to your emergency fund like a non-negotiable bill. To determine how much you need in your emergency fund, start by calculating your monthly essential expenses. List fixed expenses. These include rent, mortgage, utilities, car payments, insurance premiums, and minimum debt payments. Estimate variable expenses. Groceries, gas, and other necessities can fluctuate month to month. Use an average based on past spending. Exclude discretionary spending. Non-essential items like dining out, entertainment, and subscriptions should not be part of your calculation. Example calculation: rent $1,200, utilities $200, groceries for payment $300, insurance $150, minimum debt payments $200. Total monthly essentials equals $2,450. For a 3-month emergency fund, $2,450 at 3 equals $7,350. For a 6-month emergency fund, $2,450 equals $14,700. Choosing the right account for your emergency fund is critical for accessibility, safety, and growth. Here are some options. High-yield savings account. Pros: earns higher interest than traditional savings accounts while keeping your money liquid. Cons: interest rates may still be low compared to investments. Best for most people who want easy access and minimal risk. Money market account. Pros: often offers slightly higher interest rates than savings accounts and may come with check writing privileges. Cons: may have higher minimum balance requirements. Best for those who want flexibility and better returns without sacrificing liquidity. Certificates of deposit. Pros: offers higher interest rates if you lock your money away for a set term, e.g. 6 months, 1 year. Cons: penalties for early withdrawal, less liquid. Best for people who already have a fully funded emergency fund and want to ladder CDs for better returns. Treasury bills or bonds. Pros: backed by the U.S. government, low risk. Cons: not as liquid as savings accounts, requires more effort to manage. Best for advanced savers looking for slightly higher returns with minimal risk. Saving for an emergency fund can feel slow and tedious, but staying motivated is key to success. Here are some tips. Track progress visually. Use a thermometer chart, spreadsheet, or app to see how close you are to your goal. Set milestones. Break your goal into smaller chunks, e.g. $1,000, $3,000, $6,000, and celebrate each milestone. Automate contributions. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your emergency fund so you don't have to think about it. Cut temptations, temporarily cancel subscriptions, or reduce discretionary spending to free up more money for savings. What counts as an emergency? It's important to define what constitutes an emergency to avoid dipping into your fund unnecessarily. Examples include job loss, covers living expenses while you search for new employment. Medical emergencies, unexpected hospital bills or prescriptions not covered by insurance. Car repairs, major repairs needed to keep your vehicle running. Home repairs, fixing a broken water heater, roof leak, or HVAC system. Unexpected travel, last-minute flights or accommodations for family emergencies. What doesn't count? Routine expenses, e.g. vacations, gifts, or planned home improvements. Non-essential purchases, e.g. upgrading your phone or buying luxury items. What if you can't save much right now? If saving feels impossible due to tight finances, here are some creative ways to get started. Start small. Even $5 to $10 per week adds up over time. Consistency is more important than the amount. Sell unused items. Declutter your home and sell clothes, electronics, or furniture online. Pick up a side gig. Offer freelance services. Drive for rideshare apps. 15. How to replenish after using your fund. Using your emergency fund is inevitable at some point. Here's how to handle it responsibly. Pause other goals. Temporarily, shift focus back to rebuilding your fund before resuming debt repayment or investing. Adjust your budget. Temporarily cut non-essential spending to free up cash for replenishing. Reevaluate your fund size. If you frequently dip into your fund, consider whether it's large enough for your needs. 16 common questions about emergency funds. Q. Should I prioritize my emergency fund over paying off debt? A. It depends on the type of debt. High-interest debt, e.g. credit cards, should generally be paid off aggressively, but having a small starter emergency fund, $500 to $1,000, can prevent you from relying on credit cards for emergencies. Once your starter fund is in place, focus on debt repayment. Can I invest my emergency fund instead of keeping it in cash? No, your emergency fund should remain in low-risk, liquid accounts. Investments can lose value, and selling them during a downturn could leave you short on cash when you need it most. Do I need a separate emergency fund for my business? Yes, if you're self-employed or run a business, it's wise to have a separate fund to cover business-related emergencies, e.g. equipment repairs, slow sales periods. What happens if I never use my emergency fund? A. That's a good problem to have. Consider using the excess for long-term goals like retirement savings or a down payment on a house once your fund reaches its target size. Important tips to consider to start an emergency fund. Start small today. Set aside just $5 or $10 toward your emergency fund. Share your progress in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you're doing. Subscribe for more tips on building financial security.